Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today, I'll be taking a look at the anthology Peep, which is out from a company, I think, that's called Brain Dead. This is another one of the gigantic books that I had no idea were this gigantic. I don't know how, but I ended up ordering a whole bunch of these big books, and they're all from Partners and Sons. So thanks to Partners and Sons for stocking awesome books like this. Definitely check out their web shop, but I was really surprised when I got the package and all the books were huge. It was kind of a cool day. So this is a really awesome anthology that's a collection of short stories by some pretty big names throughout, and a combination of people that you've definitely heard of and people like this piece here by Vanessa Davis, an artist I haven't heard of. This really seems like if this is going to be an ongoing series, that it's going to be something really important. It's edited by Sammy Harkham and Stephen Weissman, so some pretty connected underground artists with a long history of putting out high quality anthologies like Kramer's Ergot that stand up over time, and I feel like this magazine is set up to be one of those legendary anthologies just because of the names that are involved in it. So really excited to see more issues of Peep and who all is going to contribute. Definitely think you should go out and get your own copy of it as soon as possible. I don't know how many there are, but I would imagine, like I said, that this is going to become like a kind of little legendary anthology, so get a copy now. I'm just going to show you a view of who's in here and not talk at all about the stories. So this is by Vanessa Davis. We have a piece here by Matt's, really awesome cartooning all throughout. Particularly like this quote that the character has where he says, "Finally free from the constraints of society and bored stiff." I do think that's very true of most people. Like I told everyone when they put us in lockdown during COVID, I said, people got 2 or 3 weeks of like stuff they have to catch up on, and once they get past that, they're not going to know what to do with themselves, because most people don't have a comic that they can be like, oh yeah, I like finally have time to finish my book or whatever. So I really like that quote. Everyone's looking to get free, but then once they, 3 weeks into that, they all start going nuts and riding lawnmowers around their lawn and stuff. But anyways, you can get a look at the art there. Pretty cool art. Then you have a contribution from Art Spiegelman himself. If we're talking about big names, it doesn't get much bigger than that. I don't know if this is material, this Merc and Jerk, Muck and Jizz, Merc and Jerk, Johnson and Johnson. I don't know if that showed up elsewhere, if this is Spiegelman producing new content, which I think would be a pretty big deal, so that's cool. We have a little short, diary comic by Gabrielle Bell. Not my type of thing, because just following people around day to day isn't comics I like, but I know Gabrielle Bell is one of the best at it. Also, really nice person. When I went to Mocha in 2022, I think is when I went, I got to have dinner with Tom Kaczynski and Gabriel and Peter Rostowski, and had a really good time. Had a really great like Polish food that Tom took us to in New York. So hung out with Gabriel for a little bit, and she was a really sweet, nice person. But the diary comics just kind of not my thing, unfortunately. Then you have a Steve Weissman. This is very different from what I'm used to from him. I'm used to like these little kind of chibi, cartoony, big head kid things. Really like the style here. Wonderful cartooning all the way throughout on this. The story on that one I don't really remember much of. Then you have a one-pager by Matthew Cam. Kind of interesting style there. This story is by John Hankiewicz. Really nice, like black and white, realistic, lots of cross-hatching, clean images, so I gotta like that. And this is what you're getting pretty much all the way through, is just high quality stuff. In terms of high quality and super sophisticated best of cartoonists of these days, they have a Roman Muradov, someone that I actually haven't talked about a lot on the channel. I need to review some more books. There was one or two books that I wanted to talk with Sean about, but it doesn't seem like we're ever going to get to it, so I'll probably review those. But I do have some videos up about Roman Muradov stuff, and he's someone that I watch very closely. Unfortunately, a lot of his stuff doesn't even come out in English. You have to subscribe to his Patreon or something, but Roman Muradov is kind of like at the tippy top of best cartoonists out there, so I really like that. And then we have a piece by Danielle Chenette here, kind of fun, almost like computer mouse drawing style of art. A big spread here in the middle by Carlos Cilla. Some cool like Kim Daichi monster art. Piece here by David Amram. You can see that they're like printing with spot colors and stuff as well, so I like that. That's a pretty cool piece. One pager here by E.A. Bethea, and then a couple page piece by Antoine Cosse. I love Antoine Cosse's art. I've tried to read his stories though, and I never like his stories. This one was actually one of the more readable stories for me. It was less strange and obtuse. But God, I really love Antoine Cosse's art, and I might just have to go out and get like Metax and all these other books, just to have them for the artwork, because I love the art so much. But yeah, story-wise, not so into it. Really like that it's got this printed, gets to look like it's on a yellowed background. Really like the old school Art Nouveau lettering, and just the strange way that the purple fills in around it. All of that seems really spot on to me. Then the editor of, one of the two editors of the book, Sammy Harkham, does a one page here. Some very Chris Ware vibes with the designing on the side and the intense paneling, but then Sammy Harkham's like impeccable cartooning down the middle. This is an argument for, you know, well, not an argument for, but basically explaining like how to be a cartoonist. And Sammy Harkham is using that how to, not in the sense of here's the tools and stuff, but more like psychologically the headspace you need to be in to be a cartoonist. And he says, to help establish a creatively conductive mind, agitation of any kind must be avoided. And that is how I feel about, you know, my creative processes. I need to be really off on my own like that. So there's a bunch of these little quotes that I really enjoy throughout here, and I think is, at least for me, you know, also recommendations I would give for being a cartoonist. But I realize that everyone's different, and it's hard to give an actual how to psychologically be prepared for something. A reprint of an old Harvey Kurtzman piece from October 1950. So I like that they're getting some reprints. That feels like something pretty typical of an Art Spiegelman related production, is that you're also looking to the canon a little bit and trying to keep people up on that. So if you can find strips like that to put them in, that's great. Then Brian Chippendale, I believe this is the same Brian Chippendale that's in the amazing like noise rock band Lightning Bolt. Very intense character, and it's cool to see some of his comics. I know he does comics, but I've never read any, I don't think. This is a Kevin Huizenga piece. Kevin Huizenga is someone who I just love as a cartoonist and as a formalist, whose work absolutely tires me and wears me out from a reading standpoint. So really works really well in a one-page format for me. The intensity of the depth of how this guy's mind works just kind of leaves me tired, and so like getting him in short pieces is really good. But this one's actually kind of funny. It's just a cartooning of a Craigslist ad as seen in Harper's Magazine March 1st, 2018. So they must have had an ad about, or an article about Craigslist or something. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Really cool piece here by Sophia Foster Dimino. Like the artwork style, like that really clean line filled in flatly style. Uses it really well to tell a story here. I like, because this is a bigger book, also taking advantage of that and doing a lot of panels with a lot of lettering stuffed into them. This wouldn't work at half the size. It would be a little too dense, but this is perfectly sized for this. And then two more wedge page spreads. This is Audrey Murty here. Really like the look of this one. And this is by Casey Germain. We have a piece here called Love Park by Jeff Mahannah. I have to cover up, I should probably cover up this panel too, but there's a particularly obscene thing here. You can see this guy's painting with his butt cheek, so a kind of funny but gross little piece there. a Spain Rodriguez piece called Conclusive Argument. This is really cool because nothing's been adjusted. You can see the pencil lines and stuff. So this is like having and I don't know about size wise, but this looks like it could be drawn at, like represented at the size it was drawn at too. So it's kind of like a little Spain Rodriguez artist edition peek here, which is really cool. You can see like the tones, you can see the cut around the line. I think that's a fun aesthetic, and I wouldn't be surprised with how popular artist editions are if a lot more artists just start releasing their books unadjusted and they leave all the rawness there. I could see in the age of AI that could become an aesthetic, especially since the guys at Kayfabe made materiality so cool again. I think that's one of their main legacies that we owe them thanks for, is they got everyone back into using tone and looking at artist editions and how things are done. And I kind of like this aesthetic. I think it would be smart for people to consider that as a way of releasing their work as the raw, unadjusted pages. And then it ends with the Katie Skelly piece and a piece here by Lili Todd. I really like the design on this Lili Todd piece here. The colors and all of that look really, really accurate. So again, some like material production ideas, like offset registration, you know, where the red has shifted, the plate shifted a little bit. Things like that in that image are really cool. And then a fun piece on the back by Artichokat. So this is a really, really cool anthology. You can see just from flipping through it the range of artists that they have in it, from, you know, legends like Spiegelman to really, really highly regarded like Sammy Harkham, Kevin Huizenga, artists like that, and then artists that are more on the up and come, it seems like. So wonderful anthology. I hope this goes on for a long time. I will buy every volume of it, and I think you all should do as well. Easter.